They call me the Paul Skenes of the bedroom. I'll go 7 innings and be unhittable, undeniable. Be like, wow, this guy's a phenom. Then I randomly pull out. Instead of the coach, it's just me. I pull out and I'm like, you know what? I'm too good for this. And I just stop. That's how he must feel right now. It's like, hey man, I'm literally the best pitcher in the fucking game. I'm doing things no one's ever done. And you guys keep pulling me out. And fucking up these fantasy teams. Actually, he's probably helping a lot of fantasy teams. Because like, all I need is 5 innings. I'm going to hit the over on the K's. And I ain't talking about the ketamine. Even though I did read an article about some former 3rd overall pick of the Padres, I think. Is it Scurbos? Burrows. Rest in peace. Apparently, the report said that he overdosed on fentanyl. Had a fentanyl. Was found in the system. I don't know how the fuck I got this. Woo. My mind is really a maze. And I'm not talking about amazing. Sometimes it's a maze to navigate. It's like an endless cornfield where you can't get out of. It's like a Netflix movie. It's like, you know what? We have this cornfield. We can make a fucking movie out of this. People get lost in the fields. Like, wow. Original. But I could use a Mrs. Fields cookie right now. That sounds weird. Sound like I want a nanny's cookie. Or a granny. Is that really what granny is? Is that why we call them granny? Because really we view a granny more as a nanny. But grandma is like, come here and knit my sweater, you know. But granny is like, you know, the one that takes you to the Texas Roadhouse for lunch, you know. Granny is the one that might take you to Six Flags. But grandma is the one that you go over to the house, playing her piano. It smells like an old person home. Granny is a really short for nanny. And it's something that we nonchalantly say. And not even realize. Like a nanny, like it's like not the cool grandma. Because you really only have 1 or 2 grandmas, right? Like you can't call a random person your granny that's not related. You can call anyone your nanny. But it's almost like if you have 2 grandmas, right? Let's say. You have one grandma that's the traditional, oh, come over, kids. I made some, you know, rice pilaf buffalo chicken dip. And then you get there and put 3 drops of Texas Pete. It's like, ooh, she brought the heat tonight. And then you have Granny. The one that takes you to the B-dubs. Says, all you can eat wings, baby. Endless tots. Crispy shell. And her name's ironically Rochelle. Rochelle, Michelle, Taco Shell, peas cells, seaweed. But why is it called seaweed? So, can someone get high under the sea? I don't know. Maybe that's their earthly lettuce. I don't know how. I mean, I guess they would have to chew it. It's kind of like kratom. Or CBD. Stands for compost biodegradable desensitizer. I think. But yeah. I don't know, you know. Yeah. So, what are the leaves of the sea? Is sand really concrete? Or is concrete really just an erect sand? Okay, I guess they use sand, but they use other ground materials to make concrete. Really? But as I was saying, yeah, not distracted at all. It's been a whole buffet type of theatrical. God damn it. Can't fucking do it. There's a whole buffet craze going on around the world. Every place has got a buffet. R. Kelly's got a buffet album. But you know what's odd about people in jail that are making music, people in jail that have more life skills than people outside of jail. You got people that want to read. It's weird, because it's weird how really what jail teaches us is that isolation is actually what forces you and makes you to actually focus, right? I mean, whoever designed the prison system, it's got its flaws. But, you know, isolation does a lot of good for the heart, does a lot of good for the mind. And without isolation, nothing great is made. And, you know, we can say what we want, but we actually reward. We actually popularize. We show our support to isolation without even realizing it. Think about it in basketball. Who are everyone's favorite players of all time? It's the Jordans. It's the Kobe's. Jerry West. It's players that Allen Iverson's a fan favorite. Which, by the way, apparently he's in this Big 3 tournament where it's half court. And, you know, look, man, he's an older guy now. He's not going to be springing off his feet. The only ankles he's breaking is potentially his own, and he basically plays like it. Still got a nice jumper. AI. Now when people refer to AI, it's is that even AI out there? It's just an artificially more intelligent version of AI. It's like, hey, I'm everything you all wanted in me. My game's unstoppable, but now just a little crossed up. So yeah, Allen. It's just kind of funny to me how everything kind of connects. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. But there was some green bean, lean heen, mama jean. Nice jeans on you, baby. Why do they call apple bottom jeans, you know? You can't, if it's a really I understand the shape of an apple, but let's get into the logistics. If someone has apple bottom booty, chances are they're not fitting an apple in any pocket. No matter how wide or curved to the swerve the jeans are to the body type, right? So you got a nice candy apple down there. But if it hangs too long, you might get some fruit flies. Oh, Jesus. But yeah. Apple teeny. We make so many things with apples. Got green apple. We got green apple teenies. We got apple pies. We got apple of the eye. We got Adam and Eve that revolved around an apple. Our obsession with apples. We got Eli Apple. Mom talks more than him. That was random as fuck. You know, and people are always like, oh, what? Because he has a mom that's outspoken for him. It's like, nah, she just gossiped way too much about every little thing. And, you know, if your son's not a dominant player and he's getting burned all the time in cover 3, you know, it's going to make him a little unlikable. He becomes a target. Yeah, that's the thing. When you come from a family that, you know, good parents that mean well, sometimes you could be a target in certain environments, you know. Sometimes that could be a target. People have this, oh, you have this presumed innocence about you. Oh, Chucks, look at Clint. He's well-mannered, put together, treats everyone with respect, you know. Good sense of humor, very likable. And people want to try you on some things, right? And I feel that. Me and Eli Apple, you know, people want to try you because you're a target. You stand out in certain things. There could be a little envious, like a little jealousy. It's weird how sometimes having a great family unit, or at least presumed to be, sometimes it could work against you. It's weird how we kind of live in this world where we idolize struggle. We idolize like single parent homes. We idolize dysfunction and the few stories of people that overcome that. When more the norm is typically most success stories are from people with grounded backgrounds, realistically. You know, doesn't mean life is easy, but they have the structure foundation of what to be taught of. Hey, you know what? This is a pretty good life if you just keep on the straight arrow, kid. Or this is just how you don't fuck up your life, which is probably more of an important thing. I can't tell you what to do with your life, but I can certainly tell you what not to do. And then they're going to do it anyways. But at least if they do it, then they'll know, like, hey, you know what? This guy was on to something. That's what I hope to tell my kid one day. Like, hey, I don't know what you want to do. I don't know who you want to be with. I don't know what type of girls you're into. I don't know what toxic traits you're going to like. But I can tell you what not to do. And that's have a shared banking account. Not even speaking from experience. I don't have a shared banking account. But that's just what I've been told. Never share your bank account. Well, I mean, you know, you don't want to literally share it. People steal your credit cards and stuff. But what I'm saying is, you know, there's a wild thing, you know. And it's a hot topic, right? I don't think it's really about money that makes, quote unquote, sharing a bank account like that. Like, obviously, if you live together and you're married, like, you know, you have a combined income that's for the general goodness of everyone, or with kids and stuff like that. But it's weird to just kind of have a bank account that there's one avenue it's coming from, and somehow it's kind of received from another party that they earned it, right? Like, they could spend free willy with it, right? And I know it's like, this is a newer generation. It doesn't mean that you don't want to share your money. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It just means, like, you know, you want to feel like you did, like, you is you, you know. It's an odd feeling, you know. I don't know. I wouldn't know about this. I'm not in that position yet to even worry about that, you know. No one's going to look at my account and be like, hey, let me share that with you. Hey, bro, you just got to invest in the SP 500 index fund. Like, shut the fuck up. It's like, bro, if you open up an index fund at 18, you put $10,000 down, put 10,000 in it, within 18 years, you're going to be a millionaire, bro. And you didn't have to do anything. It's like, all right. Yep. You do that. Because I have a feeling that's not exactly how it works. It's like, that's not really how economics or finance work. You just put your money into a random bank account that you don't do anything to it, and somehow just because it's in the bank's hands and they can use that money to just funnel more money around to make more money, you just really think they're just going to be in good faith and be like, yeah, trust us, you'll have $1 million in your account? It's not really. There's a lot more to this advice stuff than just putting X amount down and at this interest rate. Like, there's a catch to it. There's penalties for withdrawing too early. It's hard to tell someone it's like, hey, this index fund, now it's at $400,000. I just went $20,000 in debt. I have no car. I just lost everything important. And like, yeah. But if you withdraw this $400,000, there'll be a 35% penalty. So you only have, $240,000 of it or some weird shit, right? And that's still $240,000 you don't have at the time. What do? Do you hold out for another 12 years to hopefully see the potential $1 million? Or do you significantly make your life better for the moment, where you could use that money to be in a secure position where you can actually be in a position to make more money? Because you can invest $30,000 now into some, I don't know. What do I know? That's all money is just moving shit around and pretending that you got things figured out. Right, Lizzie McGuire? Yeah. And on that note, welcome to episode 286 of the Offbeat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. Recording this on July 12th. Jesus Christ. Eyes itching like a fever hole. Leave the beaver. Leave the beaver. Hope it has a fever. If you haven't meet your golden retriever, you'll learn who the real deceiver is. DirecTV, the signal receiver. DirecTV is one of those, it's just it's the definition of it doesn't perform well under pressure. It's weird. We always are held accountable as people, as if you're a leader of a family or a leader of your job, to be able to perform under pressure, right? Perform under pressure, no excuses, make it happen. Regardless of the circumstance, you need to overcome it. So how come? And you know what happens? There are consequences when you don't overcome it. You either get in trouble, your financial situation could be fucked if you're not taking care of your P's and Q's. I think that means palms and qualms. I think that's what P's and Q's means. I don't know what qualms is. I mean, you got qualms about things, but I don't know what it means. Palmdale, Arizona? I don't know. Yoinks. But it's odd how... But the same standard is not held for companies for services that we pay for. I don't know who really has cable anymore, but there are people that still have DirecTV, Comcast, and all those good things. And anytime the weather, any type of clouds, just the clouds start, your signal's all fucked up. Why can't they do a detection of, hey, you didn't have TV for essentially 16 hours in this month, so we will do a pay rate or do a rebate or whatever it's called, a payback of per hour cost, and take that off your bill. Shouldn't they be proactive about that? But how come those aren't held accountable? I lost 16 hours of TV time because y'all can't handle a little McFlurry rain. And the same, what's odd? So this is a true story. Happened today. One of the beauty of going to places that just open is that typically they're not busy. And depending on the place, it's about as fresh a food you're gonna get, because they have to cook that shit right when they open. So earlier today, I was in a hurry. It's always the days you're in a hurry where the most fucked up shit happens. Falling behind. I didn't have any food to bring to work. Cool. I picked up some food, I went by my local, very local farm-raised Panda Express. Not a national chain at all. Just, I noticed with them, you get the most basic, you definitely tell Panda Express, they even make their fortune cookies as Americanized as possible. It's not even like some weird, pursuit of happiness leaves the dreams that haven't been tapped yet. Undesired, unauthorized will always be there when you're ready and willing. Not even some weird poetic shit that you're like, damn, I don't know what that means, but damn, okay. It's literally saying, tomorrow you will find happiness again. It's almost like it was some weird inspiration that someone woke up, they felt really good about their life or felt good about their situation, and they decided to put a IG quote out there, or for the Facebook, just a random 9 a.m. Inspiration, because all of a sudden we feel like this person that just got a job above $9 an hour all of a sudden has all the inspiration in the world to be like, hey, I don't know if anyone's told you today, but you're worth it. It's I didn't think anyone would think I wasn't worth it, but now that you brought it up, I'm starting to think, who really thinks I'm not worth it? And coming from you, I think you're asking the wrong people the questions. I'm kidding. We're all worth it. Until you need a few hospital pills paid, then you really see how the government views how much you're worth it. But, it's odd to me. It's always, I know I'm going a little side tangent, but I'm not even joking. I have to remember, because I almost couldn't believe it. It was literally one of the fortune it came with two, they put 2 fortune cookies in there, I guess because of the unfortunate fucking wait I had to wait. And open one, nothing in it. I was like, I feel like that's a bad luck thing. If you open a fortune cookie, there's no fortune waiting for you. I opened the other one, and legitimately, it says something along the lines of, shit, what exactly did it say? I remember it says something like, tomorrow. Oh, it was something along the lines of, it literally just, it didn't even say your work will come out. Your work will pay off in due time. Just trust the process. It didn't even say it literally just said, tomorrow your hard work is gonna show in achievements. Literally it said, tomorrow your hard work is gonna show in achievements. I was like, first of all, I'm not even scheduled to work tomorrow, so I don't know what the fuck that means. 2, two, why? Who are these people making these fortune cookies, getting paid, and these are the phrases they're coming up with? You know what it is? I think what fortune cookies are probably really what they were designed for is to kind of bring that manifestation aspect. And if someone opens something and has that belief about themselves, they'll kind of just start believing it, whether there's any reason to believe that or not, even if you have nothing you've worked towards for the past 6 months of your life. And it says, tomorrow, you got a Spotify deal coming. You know what? The fuck I do. You're absolutely right. That's how specific this shit's going to get. It's just going to start saying, tomorrow, you'll get a $3 pay raise. It'll be 6 months from now, you'll get a girl pregnant. It's how come it just says a girl? It didn't even say your wife. It'll just start getting like so AI specific. But anyways, I go there, right? So I go to this overpriced Americanized Chinese place. Cool. I go in there, all the fresh food is there. Blah blah blah. Tell them to scoop this, scoop that, scoop. And status quo, you get to the register. She rings it up and says, all right, $10.39. I was like, damn. And still the audacity to be like, you want to round up? It's like, no, I don't want to fucking round up. Sorry to the children out there that are at St. Jude's, but I don't want to round up at Panda Express because they're going to take a cut, But there's nothing on the pin pad thing, the thing that you stick your card in, the machine that takes all of our information. It's kind of weird how this one small machine is responsible for like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that these businesses process on a daily basis. This one fucking machine, and it's connected to fucking Wi-Fi. Think about how fucking insane that is. All we are being told is, hey, don't do anything personal information. Don't log into your bank account when you're in a public place using Wi-Fi or even your own Wi-Fi. Never do anything on a computer, on a Wi-Fi that you wouldn't want out there. Like your information, And think about it. Every time we stick our credit cards in these POS systems at most of these casual places, whether it's retail, food, whatever, it's all on these things that are connected to cords. Like literally, they're sitting there for 20 minutes while I'm in a rush. Kind of fucked up my whole day. Man, as it eating, I'm falling behind. No one gives a shit. But the point is, I was in a hurry. More than usual. And they're sitting here trying to figure it out for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I'm like, there's literally no one here. You guys just opened. I'm not mad that this shit happened. My thing is like, I'm looking and I'm like, hey, I brought up an offer. A reasonable offer. I go up there on a regular basis. For the same situations when I'm in a hurry. And I say, hey, is there a way I could just pay for this tomorrow, or just you could write my name down? You guys know me. I see the same of y'all every day. You greet me, nice individuals. Is there a way we can just write me down? Next time you see me, you can just charge me for this the next time. All right. And they looked at me like, the one person looked at me like, what? It's like, yeah, it's like putting on a tab. It's like, why is that a fucking crazy thing? Like, I come here, I come here all the time. So, like, next time, like, I'll probably be back within next week or so. Can I just pay for it then? When I come again and get more food or whatever? Like, and this is how you know how rigid these restaurants have gotten. With these things, like, they are so about, it's all about just getting every dollar out of you. Fucking underserving, underportioning for what you're paying for being real about it in most cases. And then something on their end they fucked up because they don't want to hook up their internet. They don't want to know how the fuck. And the girls literally, they're like, yeah, this happened before. They're trying to figure this shit out. They're calling like their general manager, probably some tech person. It's like, bro, like, if I was behind the counter, I would have been feeling weirded out watching an individual stand there with their card. Like, hey, like, I wouldn't mind waiting. I even said, like, I don't mind waiting, typically. I would sit, whatever. It's cool. But I actually got to be somewhere in, like, 10 minutes. So that's why I offer that. Offer a stipulation. And the one guy, one of the cooks, just like legitimately just looked like, yeah, we can't just give out free food. I'm like, bro, you just fucking open. What do you mean you can't give out? Like some of your chickens look fucking dry. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't give out free food. It's like, bro, like, I'm not here trying to get free food. Like, I came in 20 minutes after y'all open. It wasn't 2 minutes after y'all open. Like, you guys are the ones that didn't have your shit figured out. Like, do you have cash? Like, no one fucking has cash. Who the fuck carries cash? You know how much we don't care or carry cash? Wallets don't even have the bill slot anymore. Wallets are more designed to hold cards and small objects than it is cash nowadays. Like, you notice that wallets don't have, most newer wallets, they don't design them to have that open pouch where you stick dollars in, because it's more inconvenient. Like, it's a waste for most people. But for me, you know, I do miss having a job where it was cash exclusively, like mostly tips. You are in better count of your money, and two, you spend less. Because it's just easier to keep track with your money. But that's neither here nor there. The point is now I'm standing trying to, like, you know, it's weird when there's like people behind the counter or something, they're all trying to like pretend to fix an issue, but they don't know how to fix the issue, but they got to pretend they're looking to try to solve it. It's like, I know none of y'all know how to do this. I don't know how to do it, but I'm not blaming y'all, but it's like, you don't have to pretend like you're going to sit here like, oh, they opened this thing, started doing wires, and like, it's like, guys, like, come on. What are we doing here? Like, you know, you're not, it's like, oh, once we get it, you know. And they were trying to hold my food hostage. I'm like, I'm not going to snatch it. Like, I would rather just leave if it's going to be like this. But, I don't know. Whole ordeal, then a whole thing happened. And, you know, it is what it is, you know. And then they finally just like, you know what, the same thing I offered like 8 minutes before. You could have saved 8 minutes of my time when I offered this proposition. Then they're like, you know what? It's on us today. And they print out a receipt, an employee meal. Like, you know, I understand they have to print out something, so inventory and stuff. But they print out employee meals. Like, you're telling me you could have fucking did this 8 minutes ago when you knew this shit wasn't going to be relatively... When you knew it was starting to get to a point, but you just want to sit there and watch me suffer. And you know what's weird? The weirdest part is that I'm trying to, like, I'm not one of those customers that really wants to sit there and just like have small talk in between, because that's weird. Because have you ever been like behind someone that tries to small talk with someone behind the counter when the person behind the counter doesn't really want to talk with them, but they kind of have to, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when they use Wi-Fi for these connected machines, and they go in a whole thing, and there's like, yeah, it's unfortunate. And, you know, you don't want to be that guy. And I'm already irritable. I'm already in a rush. I'm anxious. So I'm just standing there with my ass on the rail, pause, and I'm just awkwardly looking the fuck around. You know, that's weird when you try to look everywhere but the problem at hand. It's like, I don't even know where to look. I'm just still looking. Then that's when I know some weird shit. They have fucking, you could buy a Panda Express teddy bear. The things at the front counter for all these years, I've never noticed all this shit about Panda Express. They literally got a bag of fortune cookies you could buy, which is insane to me. Who the fuck is going to sit there and be like, oh, let me buy 15 fortune cookies for, it was probably like $7. Like, who the fuck wants to buy 15 fortune cookies? Like, what is wrong with these people? Just trying to milk every fucking dollar. Like, Jesus. I didn't even notice they had their drinks in this little ice cooler at the front, you know? Everyone at Panda Express is wearing back braces, you know? I don't know. It's just it's interesting. Yeah, that's my soapbox for the day. But you know what doesn't have a soapbox? Irish Spring. Licky and mate. Has that? I don't know. I think the thing about the Irish thing came across this clip of Theo Vaughn talking to Ed Sheeran. You know, which apparently his tour. I think he calls it the mathematical tour, basically of all of his albums. I think he's been touring literally for like 8-9 years straight. It's like, oh, it ends in 2025. Like, it's like, wait, you didn't. It's like, has this man just like been not doing what normal artists like take 3 months off, take a year? It was like, no, his mathematical tour he's been on. They're like, damn, this dude's getting bank. And but it's like, he was like, I always feel, London, I always feel like it's like a crime is different there because I always feel like they're leaving clues. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know, I'll tell you a weird rabbit hole. This is going to be the most random ass fucking show ever. I think it was like last weekend. I went to this rabbit hole. Not a rabbit hole, but I was kind of interested in the subject. So, look, I like country music, believe it or not. So, I've heard of Ryan Upchurch before. And I like Luke Combs. So, apparently, Luke Combs, he was in a song like 6, 7, 8 years ago. It was like before he signed his like first record label deal or before he started, popping, just Southern boy, I think from Tennessee. Like, I think he went to like Appalachian State or whatever the fuck. And, he appeared in a music video called, I think, Can We Get an Outlaw? Or, no, that's actually one of his songs. It was let me look it up right now. But I'm gonna look up this song. But basically, he appeared in a music video with Ryan Upchurch, and it's basically about being American, being Southern, and all that good stuff. Typical like country music you would think of. A subject matter, I should say. And let me find it. But one of the interesting things, I always knew like there was this weird beef with them. And I'm sorry, I'm looking it up right now. I have a hard time multitasking. Why is it so hard to find? Luke. God damn it. Why the fuck? Oh, it is called Can I Get an Outlaw? So, it's a song where essentially Luke Combs just sings the chorus. It's a nice melody. It's like a very like down. It's like a very like prideful song. Like you can feel the pride in this song, regardless of what you opinions may be about it. But it's mainly a Ryan Upchurch song featuring Luke Combs, and it was kind of one of the things like Luke Combs like that stripped, like kind of real version of him before it became famous, And obviously, I had a great voice and all that. And so, apparently, starting like 3 or 4 years ago, him, and ever since Luke's made it big, and ironically in the song saying, we don't need pretty boys making pretty songs and country music. And then, the argument could be made Luke Combs makes a lot of, pretty songs, for the country genre. But I like a lot of those songs, I ain't gonna lie. But you definitely notice, like, his tone from intent. I think the biggest thing is, like, his intensity of his roots of where he's from. It definitely, when he's gone mainstream, it's definitely veered a lot away from that. It's more about making, good, catchy, melodic, purposeful, beautiful music with, like, a personal meaning. Now, like, his last album is, I think, because he is a dad now, it definitely has a lot more to do with the point of view of being a father, being husband and stuff like that, and kind of a bigger meaning of life. It's not a whole lot of when it rains it pours or one number away, where it's just like it's fun. Like, now a lot of his music is about, like, telling a beautiful story, and that's great. Like, he has a lot of great songs, a lot of songs that resonate with people even outside of country music. But you can kind of see, like, oh, this is what it looks like, someone making a conscious choice of making music veering towards a more acceptable broad crowd, because that's where the most can be made from it. I don't think he's a different person in terms of his beliefs and where he grew up from and all that stuff, but I could kind of see where, like, Ryan Upchurch, someone who does everything solo locally, and I don't listen to any of his music or anything like that, but everything being an independent artist, they see that and it kind of irks them, right? Because it feels like someone is kind of using what sells more than what comes to the heart necessarily. But we can't really say, because that may be what comes to Luke's heart. But it definitely is, like, when you think about it, you're like, man, I like all these songs, I like all this music, but at the same time, a lot of his music is missing, like, that intensity oomph around it. Like, if anything, he's not really taking, like, any real risk in his music. Like, that's the only thing when, like, when someone is on, like, such a hot streak and everything is working from a formula standpoint, when there's, like, their sound, it's, like, always relatively the same, but you still like it. It's like his voice is undeniable. The songs he and potentially his team writes, most of them are songs that I really enjoy listening to on repeat. But with all that being said, that doesn't mean there's not a truth to the fact that it's starting to feel more like a machine that's kind of disattached from, what really gets that grunt out of you. Everything is kind of just like beautifully put words, nice melodies, nice choruses, because that's what we as people react to in terms of repeatable music. So it is kind of this double-edged sword, because he went quote-unquote mainstream, but he's, like, arguably, him and Morgan Wallen, the most successful country artists of the last decade. And one just most mainstream artist in general, of any genre. It's just kind of it's odd. It's fascinating. But yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. Have you ever been loved by a country boy? Yeah. So, 2 tweets. You shall be deleted. I got 2 stones, 1 kidney. I'm too stoned to have more than one kidney. You gotta be kidding me. I'm such a fool. I came across this fishing joke. I know this pod is all over the fucking place, but that's the beauty of it. I came across this fishing. It was two guys on a boat. They were both fishing. And it was like, before I left the house today, my wife asked me, how long have you been gone? And he said, I'll only be gone about half the day. And then, 12 and like 10 hours later, she starts texting me, or she starts calling me buzzing. And, he's like, oh, I already know where this is going. She calls like, where have you been? Like, you said you only be gone half the day. He's like, I told you, half the day. There's 12 hours in half a day. I was like, I don't know why I found it funny in real time. It's one of those, when you repeat it, it doesn't have the same luster, but when you just hear it randomly and you're not expecting it, it's funny as hell. I like those. I think that's the beauty of humor. It's the unexpectedness. It's the misdirection. It's when you're just, hearing one thing, next thing you know, like, and that's how babies were born. So, yep. Would I rather have a show? I was thinking about this. Would I rather, and you could kind of notice this in the media landscape, from news networks to podcasting and stuff. Everyone wants to have their own quote-unquote network, right? But it's weird. Would you rather just have your one thing that you do that everyone loves? Everyone enjoys it. You can make a good living off of it. Or have a bigger thing, but you're more of a supervisor and above it, but you're never really in the thing doing it, because your job is more of being in charge of the whole overhead. But you're not really, it's not your show, you're not on the show. You're more of like, you're running a network more than actually being top dog of your network. What's actually better? Because obviously owning, like, let's say you were to own a podcasting network, right? It's like, okay, most time when that happens, it's someone that had their own show, they had success, or varying amount of success, and they decide, like, you know what? I kind of want to have multiple podcasts. I want to have multiple different people be a part of this bigger network, and we build this thing and this big empire, right? That's great in theory, but then I think at a certain point, I think it's like anything, once you become disconnected from the thing, like if you go from being a TV news anchor to a TV executive, being behind the scenes, maybe that's more of just a better lifestyle. You're more of just overseeing. You don't have to worry about the creativity aspect every day of being on screen and, going through the motions, having to dress all nice all the time and being presentable. Kind of be behind the scenes dictating, articulating the show or whatever it may be. And that's the thing. I don't know if I would ever want to be in that role where, like, I would still, even if I have a quote-unquote network of different podcasts, where I would always want to have my own show, whether that's with a friend or, just doing this. But it would still, like, I would love to do the thing, because I think once you don't want to do the thing, you shouldn't be in charge of it. Like, you should be able to, like, hey, you know what? I love this enough to where I would want to do this shit myself. If you make it where, like, I don't like the thing, but I want to be in charge of a thing and just kind of make money off of it, I think that's where you kind of get into iffy territory with something that involves true connection and the human element aspect. So, that's just how the crumble cookie crumbles. I've still never had a crumble cookie. It seems like one of those things that it kind of feels like it feels more marketing. It feels more TikTok trendy, and because everyone says they love it, more people want to go have one. But for me personally, I'm just like, I don't get the appeal of it. It does nothing for me. I have no desire to go spend $7 on a cookie. And also, I think things being that intensely sweet, the way they show it, the way people talk about it, something being that intensely just enriched in flavor kind of makes it where it's like, you know what? I'm good. That's the overall message of all of it. I'm good. We always just want more, though, right? More, more, more. So, yeah. On that note, I think I'm going to stop the cat and be like that current U.S. women's professional soccer team getting blasted by these retired old folks of men owned by Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham Club. There's a retired, like, I'm not talking about like, oh, retired, like, you know, it would be like if we said like, oh, Carmelo Anthony, he's a retired, like, he's retired, but he's not like 8 years out of the league retired. Or it'd be like Tom Brady, like, yeah, Tom Brady's retired, but, you know, he's still in shape. Or like these dudes were like Peyton Manning retired. These dudes were Landon Donovan of soccer retired. Like, haven't really played in 7 fucking years. Like, these dudes are Prince Fielder retired. Like, you know, it's like, not only were they retired, like, these dudes, like, they were having gray hairs. Like, these dudes were probably in their mid-40s, almost 50 and something, and they destroy this women's team 12-0. And if you watch the goals, they could have probably scored 20. Like, I think that at a certain point they start feeling bad, but like, it's almost more insulting if you're seen not at least jogging. They're like, well, damn, if you're not gonna stop us, I mean, I'll just kick into the net, but hopefully you block it, but I'm not gonna purposely miss, you know. It's like, at least put some defense and not let us get this damn close all the time, you know. But hey, it is what it is. It's like, we had the separation of men and women's sports for a reason. And now it's almost like we want to prove something so bad, when it's like, we don't want to do this. We don't want to embarrass women in these things. Like, they existed to prevent this. And now, here we are. Embarrassing. And yeah, that's episode 286 of the Off Me podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. And have a good one. Just in time.